Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would have a little discussion with you guys, and it's something interesting to point out when it comes to what some people who follow really extreme diet philosophies actually do get right. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, this isn't going to go the direction a lot of people think, because the joke here is that, yeah, if you combine the vegan diet and the ketogenic diet together, you actually can get a really balanced, healthy diet. But it's not necessarily because you're looking at what does each one exclude, but if you look at what each one allows and you combine them together, you'll get really solid nutrient profile. You can actually reach pretty ideal health if you were to combine these two things together. And that's what's kind of funny about it. Now, if there's three groups of people I enjoy really pissing off and I just like harassing and giving a hard time in the fitness and health community, some of it's not fitness and health, let's be honest here. Maybe vegans would count in there, but bodybuilding, like serious bodybuilders, are not fitness or health. And people who follow strict ketogenic diets, they're not particularly oriented either when you really think about it. But I like to piss off all three of those groups, and I think I can get two of them in one go here. Maybe we'll find a way to spin it over and mess with bodybuilders too. Maybe joke about G for P. But that aside, when you seriously look at what these diets allow and what they don't allow, you actually see what some of them do get right. Because there are reasons people lose fat and do oftentimes see health improvements on either of these diets compared to something like a standard American diet. But, what people need to understand, when people start comparing these different diets, if you're using the standard American diet as your metric to prove that your diet is healthier than that, and that's oftentimes what's done in some of these studies, you could still have a really bad diet, probably the second or third worst diet in the world, and still do that. Let that sink in. You could have the second worst diet ever invented. Okay, maybe three, behind the Twinkie and Mountain Dew diet. You could have the third worst diet ever invented in the history of the world, and your diet would be healthier than the standard American diet. So, if that's the benchmark we're using, that's pretty ridiculous, That's like saying I'm more wealthy than a person who lives in a slum in Somalia. Well, you could be a person living in a slum in Mexico and be more wealthy than that. So just throwing that out, that's not a very good metric. We have the worst diet in the world. Worst diet in the world. So you do need perspective there. But look at what you're promoted to eat in these diets. Okay, most vegans, and I'm not going to say all vegans, they're junk food vegans, and they're the worst ones. They're allowed to eat, or they promote eating what? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, potatoes, tubers, right? What else do they allow? Yeah, any of that stuff, right? That's good stuff. Legumes, beans, right? All right, that's pretty good foundation. Like if you got at least 60 to 70% of your calories every day from those things, nuts, there we go. So fruits, vegetables, nuts, whole grains, legumes, beans, tubers. That's awesome. Like if you got 2/3 of your calories from that every day, you'd be good to go. That would be fantastic. That would be amazing, right? Those are solid food choices. Now, is that all you need for ideal fitness and athletic performance and everything else? No, it's really hard to do that. That's not ideal. In fact, your diet probably needs supplements. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say if your diet requires supplements, your diet sucks. Any diet that requires you to add supplements for your health is a shitty diet. Let's just call it what it is. Period, flat out, because you're supporting the supplement industry. Hell, you want to talk about morality, you're supporting the supplement industry. That makes you immoral. You talk about scumbags and dregs of society. Look at the people who promote and run supplement companies. There you go. So you've got that to look at, but then what do the ketogenic diets allow? Meat, eggs, dairy, some dairy. Well, you combine those together, what do we have? If your diet was comprised of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, tubers, nuts, meat, eggs, dairy, that's pretty amazing. That's really balanced. That's a perfectly balanced, that's an awesome diet for an athlete even, right? It's an awesome diet for an athlete. How can you go wrong there? That's amazing. So you combine these two diets together, that's pretty good. Well, what gets cut out? What do both these diets kind of avoid? Well, I mean, people would say, well, keto diets avoid plants and vegan diets avoid animal products. Yeah, but that's not your solution. What else do they avoid? Both of them generally avoid refined sugars, right? Refined sugars, refined vegetable oils like fried foods. In other words, both of these diets discourage highly processed, nutrient void, hyperpalatable foods, don't they? You ever wonder if maybe that's why people successfully lose body fat on both? They're getting a little bit higher nutrient density. They get higher satiating foods that aren't just empty calories. Maybe that's why some people lose weight on both of them. I think so. They allow for easier caloric control, cutting out most of the refined stuff. And you can eat those things in moderation. You just got to know how to work around it. But they virtually eliminate those things, and they're just consuming whole foods. Now you combine these two things together, and that's pretty solid eating, isn't it? You'd be good to go. You'd be good to go. That would be balance. And that's the funny part. These are two of the most extreme, exclusive, like food exclusionary diets known to man, to the point to where people base their whole morality and lifestyle around them. Both of these are referred to as a lifestyle. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, look, if your morals tell you that you need to, as a human being, you need to avoid eating meat, and you truly believe that, then you probably shouldn't eat meat, right? I get it, vegans, but let's not pimp it as being the ultimate health, because it's not. You guys are so full of shit on that, and you know that you are. Your experts know that you are. But I get it if you're talking about a moral choice. All right then, by that same token, if you are morally opposed to eating plants, if you truly believe that eating plants or eating a piece of rice is immoral and evil, then, by all means, if you need to be keto, then be keto, man. Go on your all-meat carnivore diet. If that's what your morality tells you makes you a good person, by all means, I'm going to tell someone, if your choices in life, if you see something as evil, then you probably shouldn't do it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably you shouldn't compromise your own morals. That's a moral choice. I don't expect everyone else to get on board with your choice. So vegans don't expect everyone to give up meat, and keto-tards don't expect everyone else to give up potatoes due to your morality. It isn't that difficult. But both of them call it a lifestyle. And both of them are almost cult-like in their own way sometimes. They both blame the other for all the woes in the world, right? Vegans blame animal products for all the woes and illness in the world. A lot of them do. They're really kooky ones. And this, by the same token, the keto zealots actually blame starches. Notice I didn't say all carbs, because, table sugar has its own problem in excess. It creates problems. But they'll blame starches, the lowly potato, for all the illness in the Western world. And both of them are so full of shit. They're both so full of shit. But when you look at it, they do both comprise whole foods, right? For the most part, that's what you would eat on both of those sort of diets. So you combine those together, though, and we've got all the major whole food groups, right? We got some pretty balanced nutrition there. I think that's the way to go. I think if you comprise 80 to 90+% of your diet from the two things those two diets generally allow to combine together, not what they disallow, but what they each allow, stick them together, steak and potatoes with some bananas, eggs on the side, you'd be good to go, right? Throw some broccoli in there, peanut butter, yeah, you'd be good to go, man. That would be balanced. That would be balanced, healthy meal choices right there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.